Good. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Laguna High cast reunion. Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate you. And if you don't know what we're talking about, we make a tabletop actual play show, and we recorded a one shot using the bubblegum shoe system. And you should go check it out and then come back here and hang out with us. Before we jump in, we're going to do some introductions. For those of you who don't know, my name is Carmen Askerneese. I'm so happy that you were able to join us. And I was a DM for Laguna High One-shot. And I'm joined by some of our Yearbook Club. Unfortunately, Emily wasn't able to make it today. But with me, we have Ash. Hello. Who are you?
Hi, I'm Ash, and I play Sam Sheffield. That's all you get. Next person.
I'm Erin Yvette, and I played Logan. And you said your character's last name, and I immediately panicked because I was like, I don't remember.
It was Burns.
I was like,
Logan Burns.
Is it Burns?
Logan Burns.
Cool. Nice quick hack because it's also my character's last name.
I just looked at Sarah.
I know. We both were like, freeze, rabbit, deer in headlights, freeze. Yeah, I'm Sarah, and I play Spencer Burns.
The Burnses.
The Burns.
Great.
Heck yeah.
For those of you who don't know, it's probably hard to tell because there's just videos on the internet, but some of us look a little different, and it's because it's been years, literal years, since we recorded. But I'm so glad that we can all get back together and talk about the journey that we had making the show together. Thank you all so much for being here. To kick us off, I wanted to talk a little bit about your character creation. And can you tell us a bit about like what went into the process of making your characters, if you can remember? If not, then like what kind of stuff do you use to make your characters now? Like what kind of draws inspiration for characters that you make in games you currently play? Whoever wants to jump in.
I can go first.
Yeah.
When I was kind of thinking of the character that I wanted to play for this, I wanted to really get out of my comfort zone and just pretend to be somebody who I've never pretended to be or actually been in real life. So I decided to be the popular girl, and I feel like it was really like, I don't know, it was an interesting and kind of eye-opening experience as well, because kind of having to get into that mindset of, okay, what are things that I want to do that also like keep my like social status high or like depend on other people, like how are other people going to be thinking of me when I do these sorts of things. I feel like that was always something that was in the back of my mind when playing this character, which isn't really something that I have to deal with a whole lot, just worrying about like how people perceive me. And I don't know, I thought that was really fun, and it posed a lot of really kind of interesting questions and conflicts for the character as we progressed through the campaign.
Wow, what a great answer.
Yeah.
I'll go next, I guess. Mine, so this was my first like real, outside of like a couple rounds of D&D that I had played years ago. This was like my first real, like, I'm going to create a character and like choose what kind of person this is. And so the only thing I knew going in was that I wanted my kid to be like energetic, because I knew that my nerves were going to show. And so I wanted to just be able to like talk through it. And so I actually just used like a prototype, which is a character in this musical called the 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. And her name is Logan Schwartzen-Grubenier. And she's just this adorable, exuberant. She's like super smart, like just desperate to win, and is like trying to cope with the idea of not winning. My only regret is realizing that if you're going to choose to play a smart character,
You're whip smarts. Don't go.
Yeah.
Don't eat. Whatever.
No, there were just so many moments when we were doing it that I was like, I want my character to just like ramble a bunch of really smart stuff right now, and I just be like,
Oh, dude, you killed
You were
it.
so good. I can't believe that was your first time, like, except for a couple D&D sessions. That's bananas. You were.
Yeah,
no,
you were so
amazing.
pro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
thanks, guys.
Yeah.
None of us knew.
Yeah. No.
Also,
Oh my
thank
god.
you so much. I'm so excited. Like, it's such an honor that you played with us for the first time. That's
It was
so exciting.
delightful. This was such a great group to play around with.
Well, I guess it's my turn. What did I put into Spencer? I don't know. I enjoy playing cross gender in in my role-playing campaigns. It's always really fun for me. And I feel like I sort of lean that way a lot. Not always. And there are parts of him that are super different than me, sort of more fighty, not a good student, like kind of disgusting. but parts of him that are similar to me, or just like trust issues and whatever that stuff is. So that was just a fun blend. Going in there, sort of a little bit of far difference and a little bit of similarity for me. Super fun. Sweet boy. Sweet lost soul.
The sweet boy and his sweet dog,
and a sweet dog. Yeah, his dog.
Yeah.
His dog's really the star. Everyone hangs out with him for his dog, and I knew that.
Whose name was
Benny.
Oh, okay.
Benny.
Everyone remembers.
I
Benny,
didn't get a chance to rewatch, so I would not have remembered that. No, but I probably could have pulled the breed. I would have probably remembered that he was a beagle. I bet. But yeah,
He's a little cutie.
Yeah.
One thing that people watching may not know, well, depending on what comes out, they may know, maybe they don't, is we actually recorded this twice. So we had to do some reshoots because I goofed and my audio wasn't working on the first time we did it. And there were some things that were different between the two versions. But I think one of the characters that was kind of had at least an arc that was really different was Spencer. So what was that experience like for you, kind of like playing Spencer a different way after the prior knowledge of the first run?
I think it was hard. Like watching it, you can see that I'm still so attached to the way it went the first time. Like I feel like you can see me kind of struggling to let go of it and just wanting to like be present and see where this new alternate universe version is going, which I think I did do by the end of the episode, and found like a different kind of arc and sort of final beat, like a way to show some growth or a way to have gone through something meaningful and end up somewhere different than where he started. But yeah, it was hard to let go of. I was a little role-playing possessive of the other version that we did, but that's okay. It's a memory that lives in my head and I get to enjoy it there.
It was a good version.
It was really good. Release the alternate cut.
Yeah, right. Yeah, director's cut.
Release the nugget cut. Yeah. Throw your nuggets in the comments. Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, so funny.
So we decided to play the bubblegum shoe system for this one shot. For those of you who've played D&D also, like, what were some of the differences or like things that you liked or things that you struggled with playing a different system from D&D?
This is so funny because I just said that I rewatched the episode, but I did not pay attention to the system. So you're like, oh yeah, it is a totally different system than D&D, and it involves like points and pooling them. But I guess that would be. I'm trying to think of like, I guess there are kind of group skill checks in D&D sometimes, but like just the amount of kind of bartering and negotiating and kind of talking about roles and things was new and fun, I think.
Heck yeah.
I haven't played D&D yet.
You haven't?
No.
Have we not? I feel like we've done a lot of these together. We've never played D&D? Oh my gosh. We'll fix that. We'll fix that.
Crunchy, heavier than this system.
Yeah.
Spicy.
Yeah.
I want to say what I do remember is I beefed myself up on preparedness, and I remember feeling like I hacked the game. I don't know which version it was, but didn't I have like a Mary Poppins bag at one point where I'm like, oh,
yeah.
Yes,
You were
I've got that in my backpack.
I'm so prepared. I'm so prepared. I'm so right.
Yeah, I remember that and being like, nailed it.
That was awesome.
I built a great character.
You did.
It's true.
Yeah, you did. That's funny.
I love the dynamics between all of you. And I think that minus the first time we recorded, well, I guess even though the first time, for some of you, it was the first time you were meeting. So what was that experience like of playing with people that you don't know super well? And how did you all kind of form a team dynamic or decide how you're going to play off of each other?
I mean, everyone was really capable. Both games, no one was really lost in the game. I mean, even though there were questions that came up, and everyone was like an experienced either role player or performer or both or something. I mean, everyone kind of had an interpersonal facility for playing games together and kind of vibing together. And I don't think anybody was really like sort of stopped anything by shutting it down because they weren't kind of used to that way of collaborative storytelling. So it was, I don't remember there being a lot of speed bumps, really.
Yeah.
It was just sort of easy to settle in.
I felt personally that I had a learning curve in because it just my first time really getting into it, realizing I was explaining a lot of stuff in the beginning of like, yeah, Logan's doing this and she's doing this and doing this. And I was like, that's so boring. I need to actually do the thing. And that's way more interesting and way more fun. So I felt like I had that arc, and I figured that out by watching my co-stars just having stellar performances and making really interesting character decisions and being like, oh yeah, that looks way more fun than just like exposition narrator Erin, you know.
I feel like I was so like rewatching it, I was so impressed with you being in character, and your voice was so clear and so consistent and so engaging. Like I felt like I was being a little more like I wasn't really leaning into a kid voice or anything like you know, sort of teenagery. I was just sort of like in the psychology of him, but not really like embracing the like performativeness of it as much as I could have. I could have really leaned into that, and I feel like you did such a great job being like a believable peppy teenager. Like it was wonderful. I thought you did
It was probably just the coffee just coming out.
It was great. I thought it was really
Thank
good.
you.
Yeah.
Now, I remember when I started, I was really scared because I didn't have a lot of just like knowledge or experience kind of in role-playing games. And also, this was the first time that I met all of you. So, yeah, you both and Emily were just very cool and had a lot of background in acting as well. And I was like, oh, shoot, like, I'm not going to come across well at all. And I don't know what I'm doing. And for a while, I thought, honestly, with my character, I was like, maybe I could just lean into the, like, agreeableness and, like, okay, I'm going to just go with what everybody else wants and kind of be along for the ride. But I thought it would be a better challenge for myself to do the opposite, basically, where Sam likes to go against what a lot of people are thinking or saying, just because she's like, no, like, I'm better than everyone else.
I remember that specifically. There's like I don't remember which recording it was, but there was a beat where we were like, we have to tell Sam something. Or right, that's your character's name, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay, great. We were like, we gotta tell Sam something, and you're just like, I gotta go, and we're like, no, we need to tell you something. You're like, no, and I was like, the yes and improver in me is just like, what's happening?
Oh, now what?
But it created it created such an interesting dynamic that we had to like figure it out, and I was like, that's so cool to like have that in our parties to really like force us to reckon. It's teenage dynamics. It was real.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's something that's interesting about like this system and the setting is just sort of like embracing angsty discord and like whatever else teens are going through, and how to yes and through that is interesting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, especially since teenagers are so like the opposite of yes and.
For sure.
That's what I mean.
No.
Yeah.
They're no and. Yeah.
Right. No, but F. Yeah, whatever. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
I love that about this group. And I mean, also like Ash, shout out to you, because it was back to back of like doing it in our second season and then doing it in this one shot of like being the character that's kind of like, I don't think I'm going to do that. But I feel like it makes for such a compelling arc for your characters. And so, especially like you said, I didn't even know you were feeling nervous because you just kind of blended in and gelled so well with everyone else. And I think that like all of you played off of each other so well, and the characters really came to life in like the first or second scene. And I was like, oh dang, really is just like, let's set something up and let's let them go, and they can make magic happen. And it was so cool to just like be in this with you all, like all of you at various different points in time I've been such a big fan of. And so like to have you all together and to do this together was really cool and exciting for me. And I remember like, especially going into the second recording, I was like, I gotta learn this system better, because I feel like the first time I cheesed the rules a lot. But I think in the second recording, we kind of like had more of an actual experience with the Bubblegum She system and just the dynamic that you all, because it's a really role play focused system, and I think that the dynamics that you all had really made you all shine with the tools that we had.
All the characters were super vivid to me. It was so easy to picture everybody and to hear their voices for me, which was really fun.
Yeah. And I feel like you're an expert setter-upper, Carmen, so it was very easy for us to move along kind of that scene that you were setting for us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good NPCs too.
Yeah.
Yes, my boy
Yeah.
Bowden out here with the clammy hands, representing for all of
God.
us with clammy
Like
hands.
smelling weird or whatever he wears,
Yeah.
some like bad, odor
Yeah,
fallout or whatever he
like
does.
really strong. This axe just like all over his body.
It's okay. Still love that king.
It's so funny. Misguided teen approaches to like smelling nice is a hilarious like plot device, like load bearing plot device.
No.
Just cheap cologne.
You got me. If only it wasn't for my body
Yeah.
spray.
Yeah. It's funny.
Do you think that like reflecting back on your characters, how close do you think that your characters are to how you were as a teenager? You know?
Not.
Yeah, not. I mean, in the like the hyper friendly way, yes, I was always a, a people pleaser as a teen, even a rule follower. I'll say that. But I mean, I tried to play Logan much more outgoing, just very much wanting to be part of things and in the center of things, and not that I not that I was lazy, but I wasn't quite the same like level of go-getter that I wanted Logan to be. I wanted her to be much more at the forefront of willing to take the lead should no one else step up, and feeling very capable in that place.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
It's so interesting because from the outside, I'm like bright, cheerful, smart, sharp, like funny. I was like, that's all Erin. And then it was like so interesting to hear your own perspective on it. Like, oh, okay, sure. Yeah, what do I know?
Yeah, mine was definitely different. I mean, I feel like I tried playing a lot of like opposites to what I was in high school. I was definitely like weird nerdy kid in robotics, like did not have a crazy amount of friends. I remember, I think in high school I ran like a Portal 2 meme account on Instagram, so really living it up in the popularity department. And I feel like I wanted to have things
It's
that like
inarguable classic. I don't know what people.
But like I feel like I wanted to have things that if Sam had known me or like went to high school with me, she would be like, oh my god, like you're so weird, fun to play with. But I do feel like one similarity that we both had was just kind of our like sometimes standoffishness. I feel like definitely in high school I was a lot less agreeable, specifically with my peers, and even though I was like a theater kid, I kind of leaned into some of the drama stuff, regrettably. So
Interesting.
Okay. So we have a question from the chat. Dun dun dun.
Oh.
Yes,
Oh my God.
the plot
Are we live?
thickens. Curveballs.
Oh my
No,
God.
surprise, we're live. So do you think that you would be friends with your character?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
Why so?
I would let Logan's the one who like leads, and I'm there to follow because she's a good time.
Heck yeah.
Spencer makes it hard. Spencer makes it really hard. Pretty introverted. I mean, if I had taken, the only reason, like there was a photo lab at my school that was like it was a really popular extracurricular actually. Like a lot of kids got really into photography, and a lot of beautiful photographs came out of it. So like if there's an alternate universe in which I had taken that up simply because the facility and the resources were so good, I didn't. So I don't know. I think we could have bonded over photography in high school. Yeah, I don't know. Two lost souls, I guess. Maybe, potentially, if we could manage to like address each other like normal people once.
He strikes me as the kind of person that's like your friend from child. Like you meet him for the first time in high school and you maybe wouldn't be friends, but like had you grown up together, you'd be like, yeah, he's like he's one of my best friends, like a heart of
That's
gold.
my guy.
Yeah.
Love that kid.
Probably very loyal. I think very loyal, actually, Spencer. Yeah. Yeah, totally. Probably kind of sharp and has like a an artist soul. And so if you get to see those things, maybe. Yeah. But not at high school parties are you going to get the best out of Spence.
Yeah.
Not the life of the party. I was so excited when you said he was into photography because I was a little like photography nerd yearbook kid in high school. And I was like, oh, let's go to the dark room. Yay.
Yeah. So fun. I wish I knew more about it so I could have like dropped all these, I could have leaned into the lore. Not lore. What's just actual photography things. You know what I'm saying? Like I could have pulled out actual photography knowledge. That would have been fun. But yeah, I don't, alas.
I think maybe like in high school I would say no. Maybe if like we met when we were like adults or something, then perhaps. But I feel like no, not like in high school. I feel like she felt very like polarized and was like, okay, I'm gonna be staying with my people and that's it. And that was something that like was kind of explored in the episode, because she was kind of going out of her like normal friend group and like her circle of people that she hangs out with all the time. But I don't think like that I would have seen that and have been like, okay, yeah, cool. Because I was just like, I don't know, I was a weird high schooler and like was super angsty, which I think when we were doing
Same.
our first kind of playthrough, since this was like a reshoot, I tried to channel that a lot more, because I was like, oh, you know, when you're in high school, like everything seems like it's the end of the world, and like you feel like you yourself are just against everyone, even when that's not the truth. You know, you're just like, you don't really have that ability to kind of like see past like your own nose. At least for me, it was. And that's something that like as I've been like growing up and getting older, I'm like, oh, cool, definitely a flawed teenager, and so many people that I knew in high school were also flawed teenagers, and we've all grown so differently. And I think that was something that I wanted to channel, but I don't think when you're in high school, like that would have been something that we would have gotten over and seen through until after.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe like the 10-year reunion. You would
Yeah,
connect.
you're like,
Yeah,
oh, you're actually pretty cool. I don't know why I was such a hater.
I'm in like I don't know if y'all know Music League. This is a game. It's like I want to. How do I do this fast? Do you know Music League?
Yeah.
Like someone designs an entire sort of bracketed tournament of like music prompts. Like, what's the best song to like dance to at a wedding, or what's the best song to like drive to, or whatever. And everybody submits their song of choice, and then it kind of anonymizes it and scrambles it, and then everyone votes. And then people who get the most votes, like whatever, win. And so I'm like suddenly now in a Music League tournament with people from high school after not having stayed in touch with them really at all for 20 years or something. Like,
wow.
And it's wild. It's wild. We've all gone through. So it's like, it's bananas to really touch base with someone after that amount of time and be like, oh my God, you have kids and jobs and whole careers and massive amounts of life has happened in the interim. And just catching up becomes like this wild, fascinating thing. It's a trip. It's such a trip.
Music League is like fantasy football or March Madness, but for music. Oh, that's so cool.
Oh. It's great. It's a real treat.
Awesome.
It's really fun. Yeah, it's very good.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's a good time.
I learned something.
It's a great way to get to catch up with people that you're not sure. Like, it's high school. Like, how much do we actually have in common with each other anymore? Like, not much. Yeah. I mean, sometimes they'll reminisce in the chat, and I'll be like, I was traumatized. I don't remember anything you're talking about. Like, I don't like a very like it's not going to be over nostalgia over high school, because I really don't remember much. But it's always fun to talk about music. It's like super fun to debate, and they're super salty. Lord help them. It gets real spicy in the Music League chat, but it's fun. Yeah.
Wow. I recently had a high school reunion, and it was an adventure of just like, so I haven't seen you in 13 years. What are we going to talk about? So it is always
Music League.
Hell yeah.
No, I know. Hey, 20-year reunion Music League is going down.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. But people that I like that I didn't even have much of a thought about. Like, there's some people that I was really close with, some people that I was kind of close with for a short period of time, just in senior year, and it's interesting, different degrees of closeness. And then some people that I kind of didn't have much of a thought about at all. And then I'm like, oh my God, you're super interesting, and like your thoughts on music are awesome. Like, what? Wow, neat. You're cool. That's awesome. So yeah, who knows?
That is really cool. It's like, you're kind of forming a new bond with someone that you may have known since you were a little kid.
Yeah. And, we all do have like whatever, like New Jersey and hoagies and stuff in common. That stays. But like everything else is new, what their jobs are, it's wild. They have kids and families and stuff. It's like, what?
I know. Everyone got a system update.
Yeah. Several. Whole new OS. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, man. I was about to bring up a random tangent about hoagies, but we can. Well, okay, so
you could start a separate hoagie podcast. It's really a whole topic. Yeah, you could do a whole separate
Talk,
show.
Everybody.
Yeah, for sure.
I think the first time I had a hoagie was at a Wawa, right?
Nice, great.
Wawa is a gas station, for those who don't know. It's kind of like Buc-ee's, if that's in your area, and if not, then I guess you're a normal person. So anyway, hoagies, right? Are they like different? Like, would you say like, okay, Wawa hoagies is a good
Yeah.
representation of hoagies, or are you like, you gotta come to like the hoagie
Hoagie
capital
Haven.
of the world, Hoagie Haven?
Hoagie Haven in Princeton is very, very good. It's quite good. Good hoagies, for sure. But speaking of Wawa, I was like halfway around the world at Louisiana, I think, in like Denmark, and some like contemporary artist had like who had a really cool section of the entire of like the museum to do a very, very neat exhibit that really took over the space, had just like taken a massive Wawa logo and flipped it upside down, and it was like, this is art. And I like texted the entire chat being like, guys, apparently it's art. Like this is happening now.
Mama is the
Yeah, it was just upside. Yeah, I was like, look at these geese. Yeah, it's Anyway, Wawa is like major New Jersey and Philadelphia, like that whole area representation. We've really gone in a hole too. So sorry.
Is it like WAH? WAH?
No, WAWA. Wawa.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like
Yep.
Wario.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Now
Now
you're
you know
speaking my language. Yeah.
people out there who love Wawa just feel really seen right now.
Yeah. Shows for them.
So we're almost out of time, but we had just kind of round things out. I was curious, and I'm sure the people at home are curious too. It's been a while since we've seen these characters, like us, the cast. It's been a few years. What do you think would happen to your characters, like if a few years after the events of the season we recorded? Where do you think they are in their life right now?
How many years has it been? Would they be in college?
How many years has it been for them?
Two.
Right.
2 for them?
Yeah.
I don't remember our grades. Do we remember
I
our
also
grades?
don't.
Were we freshmen? Were we
for those
sophomores?
listening, we made like a whole class schedule for each of these characters, and then we were
Yeah.
like, this is the grade they're in, and this is what they have. This is their
Yeah.
third period. We didn't
I
really
can
use
find
much
it.
of that in the show.
I can probably
but
find
I don't
it.
remember what grade they were supposed to be in, so I don't know. You dealer's choice.
Well, regardless, Logan's in college. Whether she was a freshman 2 years ago or a senior, she would have graduated
Straight to-
early
Heck
to
yeah.
be in college at this point. Probably
passes
Ivy
the vibe
League,
check.
just doing it up.
Yeah, probably, huh?
Yeah.
Harvard.
Yeah.
I
Little
can't
poli
find
sci,
here.
a few minors probably.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
You know,
She's not
the
double major?
Burns.
probably.
Yeah, I assume a double major.
Yeah.
Your character's mom was like a politician, so that like tracks.
That's right. That's right.
It does make sense.
Yeah. I can't
Yeah.
find my grade. I don't know. Well, so are we thinking that they're in college now or college age? Is that the idea? Oh, no, it says sophomore.
That's what
I'm
I'm
a sophomore.
thinking.
Okay, great. So I'm going into college. Okay. Yes, Spencer would be I'm going to model it on the like my other sort of cliquey friend group. Like my friend group in high school was like nerds, massive nerds and hipstery.
Nerds.
Like at the time, like I don't feel like people don't even say hipster anymore. Like what even is that concept? Like, you know, people don't like insult people by calling them hipsters anymore. They did a long time ago. But they all kind of wound up to being hipsters like at some point in college maybe. And then like now they're all in the art, like they're the ones on the chain who are still in the arts, you know, they're like sound guys in film, or they're, you know, doing a bit XYZ, you know, they're in, you know, publicity or for movies or whatever it is. So like they kind of stayed in the arts and kind of got cool. So I am thinking that Spencer still has massive trust issues from the massive, horrible, disappointing betrayal of his mentor, and is on the cusp of figuring out how to kind of be cool, but also secretly like still wounded and trying to figure out how to be friends with people, actual friends with people.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
Do you think Spencer went to film school?
I think he might have probably stayed with photography. I guess he could have dipped into film and been like, oh, this also works for me. That makes sense. That would make sense to me. Yeah, he might even be doing art criticism.
Ooh. He has a
Yeah,
podcast.
you know, photography.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Because watching it again, I was like, this kid is shy, but like super wordy, and I don't know how much of that was just meta gaming a little too hard, but like I was like, I think he actually thinks in poetry and very like florid thoughts, even though he's like shy, and so maybe he's putting that into art criticism.
Heck yeah.
I will say, because I think Sam was a junior, so after a couple years, like this would be probably her first year of college. I don't know, I could see college being really uncertain for her just because she had gotten like pretty comfortable with like her school system, and now that she's had that like relationship with Raven. That's kind of been building, but I feel like she still has like a sense of responsibility pretty much to like go to college, but maybe doesn't actually feel that same desire to like actually learn and get a degree, you know, because I don't feel like she was super interested in her academics. So I feel like she's kind of going through those trials of starting college right now where you feel that separation of like, oh shoot, everybody that I know like I've left behind and I'm having to start anew. And for somebody who's not like really interested in academics, there's a lot of kind of uncertainty around, did I make the right decision? How do I navigate this? So I think that Sam has like still has a pretty long journey ahead, and still has a lot of options that she has to consider.
Definitely. And do you think that the Yearbook Club, your friend group, stays connected after high school?
I feel like we have a group chat that hasn't been
Yeah.
yeah
We'll share like
been
memes
used in a while. Yeah,
that like relate, but I think it's the kind of group that like you realize you don't have a lot else in common, so the only way you can relate to each other is through like your past traumas and like, hey, remember when or like, hey, I thought of you because I saw
I remember what's I mean, Spencer's still gonna have to get over Raven and the fact that they're dating, like, you know, in the friend group. So like, but I think he will, you know, I think it's just gonna sting for a bit because that first heartbreak really stinkos. I think he really saw her as like a kindred spirit, a kindred weirdo. But I do have hope that Spencer and Logan can be even closer.
Yes, I imagine. Yeah, there's like,
right?
Yeah, catching up on Zoom. She probably calls him every day and make sure he's doing okay.
Yeah, and maybe as he's starting to piece things together and not be such a like chaotic slob, like that they can more of their relationship can be less about taking care of him or like making sure that he's on track. Hopefully, you know, we'll see.
Yeah,
but I could see that happening.
Yeah, Sam will always be in that state where she's like, oh, I should send them a message, like I should reach out, and then just kind of like doesn't.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I think Logan's the Leslie Knope of the group, of just like, let's have a virtual pizza party, you guys. Like,
yes. Oh my god.
Yes, Logan.
I love that. That's awesome.
I'm like, yeah, okay, maybe sometime. Never show up.
Yeah.
Like, classic Sam. So busy.
That's right.
Well, you know, I think that it's okay to grow apart, and you all will always be back then. And we appreciate you all being here with us right now. Thank you so much for hanging out with us and remembering our adventure that we had at Laguna High. And let us know down below, what are some of your favorite memories from the one shot, and are there any of the characters that you feel like you resembled how your experience was in high school? Thank you all so much for joining me and hanging out for a little bit to talk about this cool thing we made together. If you enjoyed this, be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you all in the next one. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.